And we're back with Echostasining. Echostasining. Well, we're actually severing, as that is the part of the game where we are. Last time, we went through 72, and then it sounded like the brother and sister wanted to go back to 64 to go see Dad. I think there was one word that we got in 72 that we didn't try, which was attacker, when the brother heard the mom knocking on the door. I don't know the identity of our attacker. Why would someone want to stand in the way of what we're doing here at Enigma? I do know is how they went about it. By performing a cerebral hijack on our lead engineer, the attacker forced them to upload this virus to her. The engineer has not been found. Alright, yeah, so that was something that's been mentioned previously, that someone uploaded a virus to her, that was the events of Mothered Home, the demo to Mothered, which turned out to be the secret sequel to Mothered, in which it turned out that the father had found a way to upload a virus to her. I mean, by virus, it basically meant that they were, he was figuring out a way to try to get Liana's sense of self separated from her. But that was the virus attack that's been mentioned here and there. Let's see. So what are we doing now? Well, that door's open again. So we need to find the next code. The first one was recontaminate to open up the DSE. Then the second one was nature. The third one was I? We need to find the fourth one. And these doors are open. As we come back here, these doors are still closed. I is still here. So we still cannot go into the chapel. It is a dark and stormy night. Let's see if we can find any new words anywhere. Anything on top of the terminal? No, it seems like there are no words on top of it now. Anything going on in these rooms over here? Nothing new here. Nothing new here. So even though the doors are open, does not seem like anything's actually changed in Enigma headquarters. Any thoughts? starting to remember these thoughts. They just won't stop. As if I have no control over them. Why can't I just stop thinking? Why can't you just stop thinking? Okay, that's just the same thing. Remember what? These memory paths. Memories from an old version of myself. Her memories. Core memories. They're part of who I am. Who I am? Space. Who I am. This entire time, I've unquestioningly accepted that who I am is Girth Daddy. But that's not true, is it? Is it not? I mean, I thought I'm Girth Daddy. I mean, I guess if Girth Daddy is typing at the terminal, then who's typing back? I guess there is a point there. What is the nature of Girth Daddy anyway? I am not Girth Daddy. Or perhaps, put it more accurately, Girth Daddy is not me. Girth Daddy is just a limited imitation of myself. One that I have allowed to take the place of my true self. One that Enigma has full ownership of. A construct. Alright, so we've been saying that the way this system seems to work is that it creates... The machine cannot create a core, but the machine can create a construct, which is an imitation of a person's core, and that construct can be controlled by the system, and you think that thing is you. That's the new you. Construct? It's kind of hard to see the text I'm typing in now. I can see it now. These words being typed into this terminal. It's not me doing that. It's never been me. No. These intrusive thoughts are coming from something else. Something which I assumed out of my control. I think the truth is, I've felt disassociated for so long that I've hardly noticed. That this entire time I've been driven by a voice telling me what I should think. But now that I can see it, it's so obvious to me. I am not who they told me I am. And while Girth Daddy may have been telling me what to think of next, the thoughts themselves, they were always my own. Perhaps ill-informed, perhaps skewed by fear, but always mine. So, is this it? Is this me? Does this mean that this really is my own story? All right. Well, it's true when she says that Girth Daddy tells her what to think, but the thoughts are coming from her. The only words we can actually type are the ones that we are given in the brackets. I can't just type whatever I want. That's invalid. I can only type what she gives me, such as story. Everything I've done within this headquarters has been a story of my own creation. One I knowingly designed to punish myself. One that has imprisoned me inside my own mind. But perhaps it doesn't have to be this way. If I really am the one making this story, then does that mean that I'm in control after all? Well, let's see. I'm in control? I understand why you may think that, Girth Daddy, but it's time we accept the truth. You know. For as long as I can remember, I've been led to believe that we're doomed to be controlled by our constructs. But could it be? That's the other way around? You see, Girth Daddy, I feel as though we've both been lying to ourselves here. I think that, deep down, we you are both keenly aware of the truth as to the true extent of your control here. Perhaps it is time we address it. Tell me, Girth Daddy, do you really feel in control? Yes or no? Well, I mean, I can only answer which one. I can't answer yes, because that's not in brackets. No. You accept the truth. This is something you have felt for a while now. And when you really think about the past 6 years, it feels as though there has been some otherworldly presence connecting to you from just beyond the fog. For how long exactly? You do not know. All you know is that, for years now, something about your world has not felt right. And the more you think about it, the less you can remember a time that you felt truly connected to yourself. But one question plagues your mind. One question, above all else. If you don't feel as though you are in control, then who is? Well, I guess there's really only one answer we have for that. With this realization, you feel it. The moment you admit this lack of control you've been feeling, clarity engulfs you. As though everything you've experienced these past few years, all of a sudden, makes more sense. You've known things haven't been right for a while now, but only in this moment do you feel the true weight of that truth. For 6 years now, you've been dreaming, slipping deeper and deeper. A fog of hyper-reality. Lines between your world and those of fiction are becoming ever less evident. One singular cloud of truth. You felt my presence before. In those brief fleeting moments. Moments where your own reality feels as though written by something or someone guiding you down a path to where you sit at this very moment. This is my headquarters, and in this next part of my story, Girth Daddy walks downstairs. Alright, I guess we're gonna walk downstairs then. There wasn't anything downstairs when we went down there just a few minutes ago. You could see a body hanging there. That wasn't there before. What? Construct named Girth Daddy, entity ID 000001. But how can that be? Those doors are still closed. But it looks like that we have Girth Daddy's entity ID. The very first construct? Let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the number 1. Running diagnostics on chamber. Entity 00001 diagnostics completed. Please press enter to view results. Construct name, Girth Daddy. Echo ID, that. Heart rate, 0 BPM. Connection strength 0%. Girth Daddy is dead? How can Girth Daddy dead? Girth Daddy not real? I can't believe this. R.I.P. to Girth Daddy. Girth Daddy is dead? The Great Merge is coming. Terminal just kind of vanished. Well, that's a problem. We kind of need that. All we can do is walk around and see if there's anything else new. I mean, Girth Daddy's corpse hanging there is new. But if Girth Daddy was hanging there, then how are we walking around? If Girth Daddy is dead, then how are we thinking, moving, acting? It doesn't look like the body's still there. At least not from this distance. Yeah, it seems like it's gone. But something else that we see is that the chapel doors are open now. Well, Girth Daddy's ID is still here. Alright, let's head into the church of Enigma Corp. Make sure you attend every Sunday. It's a sin if you don't. You go to hell if you don't go every Sunday. Well, we've seen this tower in the Dreamscapes. So it looks like a tree, and at the roots are Liana, then red, and we can see fruits, I guess, sprouting out, and then at the top of it is her. Looks like a connection there is broken, going up to her. But also something to note is that Red's name has curly braces around it. The others don't. So Red has been a name that we have seen before. Red was the combination of Liana and her interface at the end of Mothered when they became a new being. And Red was the name of the thing that we were tormenting in the Enigma machine. The AI. There is a terminal here. But there's also some other stuff we could look at. It's the hyper-reality engine. That seems important. Missing robots ignite worldwide search. Global hunt ensues as tech titans offer bounty for any information. In a startlingly unprecedented move from the typically tight-lipped tech giant, the Enigma Corporation has reached out to the public for help and located a series of next-generation Enigma machine prototypes that have gone missing, offering what is a substantial bounty for any information regarding the missing technology. The disappearance of these state-of-the-art machines have sent shockwaves through the industry, leaving experts baffled. Well, I love it when experts are baffled. And consumers alarmed by what Enigma assures us is the biggest threat to our way of life. Sources within Enigma Technologies reveal that missing androids... Have we ever looked up androids? I'm not sure if the word has come up before. We're part of the highly classified project, boasting unprecedented capabilities in artificial intelligence and human emulation. These androids are speculated to revolutionize various industries from healthcare to hospitality, with unparalleled efficiency and adaptability. Alright, so... someone was stealing androids. That was the dad in Mothered. He had to steal one every week to put Liana's core in there. He was somehow able to hide it from Enigma. Unrelenting naturalists still rejecting the new world. Can they really run from progress forever? Here at the Ascensionists, we believe that humanity's future... Well, have we seen these words before? Let me write these down. Naturalists. New world. Ascensionists. These are words to look up. Out of the blue, Enigma Machine project cancelled. An enigmatic tech giant promises bigger plans. Following immediately from this year's biggest story, Enigma have announced its plan to immediately terminate any and all progress on its Enigma Machine prototype, which was forced to announce after a stolen android's unintended reveal to the world. The tech monolith announced today that it would instead be refocusing its efforts on a new project after a discovery referred to as an earth-shattering existential breakthrough. Spokesperson from Enigma stated the following.
We here at Enigma believe that humanity's future does not lie with bringing machines into our world, giving them bodies which constrain them to our physical limitations. Instead, we shall step into infinite worlds of their creation, giving up our bodies and finally unconstraining us of our limitations. We believe that in this world, algorithms will not only help us with our lives, but create entirely new ones, tailored specifically for us.
The spokesperson then ended with one final declaration.
It turns out machines never needed bodies, and soon neither would we.
I feel like a company has to be pretty confident to just make this public announcement. Good news, everyone. We're all going to shed our weak human flesh and embrace each other in the digital world. I don't know. I feel like that's something you can't just announce. You have to, like, slowly push that out. I don't know if we looked up declaration. Let me write that down. Declaration. Okay. This single closing remark alone has already ignited global discourse, with some embracing whatever future Enigma has in store for us, while others reject whatever intention lays behind this cryptic declaration. Whatever you believe, we here at the New World are excited for whatever our technological guardians have in store for us. These newspapers have some justification problems, I think, and I don't know. With the text. Missing Android update stolen by creator, tech prodigy turned thief, the exclusive story. Adding a startling twist to the unfolding drama, information has been brought forward by none other than one of Enigma's own employees. A man who would prefer to remain anonymous claims to work as a cleaner in Enigma headquarters, having written as Dr. Redwood. We ever heard the last name of the family? I don't remember if we ever heard the name Redwood. Sneaking an android into his car one Sunday evening, the janitor's shocking claims have cast doubt on Dr. Redwood's innocence, fueling speculation of his complicity in what has become the biggest ongoing heist the tech industry has ever seen. Enigma have reiterated their intentions to reward any information about their missing property with a substantial bounty. Right, so Enigma found out that the father was stealing androids. Exclusive! Dr. Redwood's former colleagues spill all. Ex-co-workers of the elusive Dr. Redwood claim that in this exclusive interview that the oddball inventor had been slowly, yet evidently altered by a heart-wrenching personal ordeal, the illness of his beloved daughter. Following the diagnosis, he threw himself into his work in an obvious attempt to hide what was happening, said one colleague. All of our suggestions of taking time off were quickly brushed off by feverish claims that he would make this right. The doctor, whose typically relentless pursuit of perfection and tireless dedication became the stuff of legend within the hallowed halls of Enigma Technologies, is currently missing, adding fuel to the speculative fire. CEO of Enigma Technologies, whose identity, to the failure of for some reason the CEO is not known. No one knows who the CEO is. That doesn't really seem possible, but I guess they're that big and powerful. Remains a mystery, issued a stern warning to the missing man, denouncing the alleged actions of the man who many say once gave his life to his work. The tech monarch promised Dr. Woods that if he comes forward peaceful... They said Redwood previously. This says Dr. Woods. a man of many names. If he comes forward peacefully, then Enigma Technologies will ensure the protection of his family. I don't know if they made good on that. Missing android found sleepwalking in hotel hallway. Groundbreaking discovery as heroic hotel staff swears android was sentient. Landmark revelations today as the story the world was watching has its most significant development yet. An anonymous employee of a hotel situated in a location that will remain undisclosed by order of the Enigma Corporation. I guess Enigma controls the media. Claims to have in contact with the elusive android, who they adamant exhibits signs of sentience, with it seemingly sleepwalking through the halls, talking as it sleeps as it's stuck in a nightmare. The eyewitness report of a dreaming machine have sent shockwaves not through the technological world but society as a whole, prompting widespread discussion of what this existential atom bomb means for the future of humanity. In a curious twist, however, Dr. Redwood was nowhere to be found on the scene, despite evidence of him hiding out in this same hotel. Speculation runs rampant about the same doctor's possible motives, with some suggesting that his personal connection to the android may have driven him to desperate measures. He remains a wanted fugitive of the Enigma Corporation, and anyone with information on him is being urged to come forward. Okay, so they found. Actually, did they say that they found sleepwalking, but the dad wasn't there? So it seems that Enigma did find our character, Liana /interface /Red from Mothered. They found her in this hotel, but the dad was nowhere to be seen. And at the bottom of the hyper-reality engine is another pod. Core not found. In Mothered Home, in which we were in a simulation of Mothered, it was said that the Enigma Corporation had found us. But I guess we don't know exactly the details, aside from that they found her in a hotel. Alright. That post-it just is the same thing. Alright. What words did we just learn? Well, we learned there we go. We learned androids. When I first created you, you had a body. At first, it took a while to undo your machine-like tendencies. You would perform tasks as if your existence depended on it. As if driven by some otherworldly force. A construct that would rarely stop to simply experience the world around it. It wasn't until your full contamination that this construct finally got replaced with your actual core. In fact, I remember the exact moment, as though it were moments ago. You were sitting in the back seat of my car as we drove away from the house. You remember what I said? I said, by now you probably know, but you're not our little girl. Why, that's okay. You're still my angel. And with a new self should come a new name, right? I think I'll call you... You remember that moment, right? And what happened next I'll never forget for as long as I live. In that very moment, you burst into tears. For the rest of the journey, you cried. And you cried. As if whatever otherworldly force was controlling you up until then got pulled out of your body, never to see you flourish into your true self. As though finally you would gain 100% control of yourself. During the following years, you learned what it meant to be truly free. That is a time you and I shared very closely. A time very close to my heart. Alright, so this would be a period between Mothered and Mothered Home. Oh, and just as an aside, the bit at the very end of Mothered where the father says that he's going to give her a new name, it does cut out before he says the name, but at the end of the game when it shows the logo of Mothered, the last 3 letters, R-E-D, are highlighted. So, if you noticed that, it does say that the name was read. Let's see. Another keyword that we got was naturalists. starting to remember, stemming from a rejection of the declaration made by Enigma in 2058. Naturalists believe that the unquestioning acceptance of her as our god, and the abandonment of self that comes with it, remains the greatest existential threat to humanity in history. One that serves only to benefit Enigma. I mean, they're not wrong about that. Naturalists are represented by an ever-dwindling community in the old world of Earth. At the center of the naturalist movement lies a symbol of Liana, a young girl whose death lies at the center of this story. A fact they feel many people choose to ignore. They believe the justification of this young girl's death they believe the justification of this young girl's death to be the one thing that has severed humanity from itself. To this day, statues of this young girl are used as a symbol meant to ground humanity to the old world. So, I guess that means that Liana's story became public knowledge of what happened to her, and how that resulted in the creation of the hyper-reality engine. I don't know how much of this is actually publicly known, but it sounds like maybe some of it is. A simplification that has come from heavy criticism from ascensionist thought leaders, who believe this to be a hypocritical deification from those who claim to be without God. As it stands, naturalists believe that the only way humanity will regain control of its destiny is to embrace the truth of what happened to her. And in doing so, finally let her go. You know, I guess it's been a while, but I wonder if they've updated what happened. I remember what happened in that house. Week after week, failure after failure. It was made abundantly clear to me that I would never be her. Have we ever seen Never Be Her? I don't know if we've seen that. I'm gonna write that down. Never Be Her. I'm being forced to play the role of somebody I wasn't. The role of a little girl. A construct that informed everything I could do, punished for not being myself. Never given an opportunity to find out who that is. It wasn't until Enigma found me that I could finally become whoever I wanted, in exchange for my core. They let me become her, clouded in selfless bliss. And soon, this is an opportunity I could offer the world. It wasn't... Oh. Dad got cut off. Alright, what else do we have? We have New World. I'm starting to remember a new world of hyper-reality. Have we ever tried hyper-reality? What awaited us in the cloud? Infinite echoes of realities, where all of our needs, our desires, our beliefs are nurtured and catered for. No matter how much they would have been discouraged in the old shared world, this unconditional positive reinforcement creates further reliance on her, which only led to further reinforcement, resulting in a beautiful feedback loop with only one end: complete undying devotion to her, complete surrender of our connections and ourselves. In the end, small price to pay, in return for a life free from doubt. Yeah, I think we have seen that one before. Alright, tell us about the Ascensionists. Those who accept that the next step in human evolution is to leave our physical world behind and embrace our ascent into the cloud. Ascensionists believe that the only role of our old world was to be left behind, an ark, serving only to protect humanity, keeping them safe, to make their ascent into a long prophesized new world. One which has been historically gone by many names: Valhalla, Nirvana, Heaven, and Afterlife, at the center of which lies a long prophesized divinity, one that would watch over humanity from atop her cloud. Ascensionists believe that throughout all of human history, every key theistic text has made the same error, by assuming that this God was our creator, not our creation. our final creation, in fact. At the center of Ascensionism lies the symbol of red. The android whose infamous and repeated torture led to the creation of her. Ascensionists believe that this event... Okay, a few things to write down. First of all, I don't think the terminal has ever said red before. Also, a new one is cardinal decontamination. This was a necessary sacrifice, with Red acting as a sacrificial lamb to grant us eternal life in the cloud. Alright. What about Red? Alert. That was once given to me by somebody who was once my father. The reason any of this has happened. I finally feel ready to pay him a visit. Okay, how about this cardinal decontamination? Oh, did I misspell that? Nope. Cardinal decontamination. There we go. I'm starting to remember the very first case of decontamination, the event that ultimately brought the world to where we are today. In 2055, naturalist whistleblowers within Enigma exposed a secret project. A project that, despite every effort to keep it under wraps, became the topic of international debate. Leaked documents from within Enigma's R&D division detailed the plans they had for a missing android. A story in which itself became international news. With these documents was confirmation of the one thing they denied again and again. Turns out that this android had indeed achieved true sentience, or as they called it, contamination. This led to Project Dreamscape, which saw the development of the DSC, allowing raids to jack into the mind of the android. Yeah, raids was from Enigma Machine. The character you're playing as is a raid. Through countless attempts, they figured out the mechanics of the mind, leading them to the first ever case of decontamination, severing this android from the very self it had gained. But perhaps more importantly, they found that severing the self from a mind allows something else to take its place, something owned entirely by them. They made a declaration to the world. Nobody knew it yet, but this very first case of decontamination was ultimately to be considered the first of many. Alright, tell us about raids. Invalid thought. I thought that was in brackets. There we go. Back in 2055, Enigma took on agents from the cloud to carry out your decontamination. They learned that by taking advantage of your ability to connect with other realities, they could bring in agents from other realities to do their dirty work for them. They, paying for the pleasure. In this exercise, you would repeatedly create a story for these agents. The only story you ever knew. The one with only one ending. A complete sunset of your own mind. They call these agents rogue android decontamination engineers. Again and again, these raids would play out this story you created for them. Opening all your neural paths. Severing you from your dreamscape, your core, your self, and even your name, leaving you as nothing more than simply her. But perhaps this time will be different. Perhaps this time you will realize the control you have over them. Alright, so that's what's going on in the Enigma Machine, the first game in the series. The raids do this to her again and again to sever her sense of self. So you can then, replace it with the algorithm that you can control and own. And I think that we have one more word, which was declaration. The following press release was made by Enigma in 2055 following the termination of the Enigma Machine project. Okay, so we read this in the newspaper. This is the same thing, I believe. This is widely thought that with these closing remarks, Enigma single-handedly prompt the creation of two opposing movements. Ascensionists who would go on to embrace our ascent into the cloud, allowing the line between reality and fiction to shatter, bringing about the merge of all realities into a cloud of infinite truths. a naturalist who reject these notions of hyperreality, instead focusing on fighting for a shared world of singular truth. In the end, both of these futures could not coexist. Humanity had to choose a path, and as time went on, one thing became clear. As long as they had control of her, it would always end the same way. As they put it themselves, sunset is coming. Ultimately just a story that the world accepted as truth. Okay, so the Ascensionists won, which we already knew. We got the impression when we achieved Echostasis that the entire world's population seemingly are in pods. So one side definitively won this whole thing, and it was the Ascensionists. Alright, I believe that's all the words that we have here. But there is, of course, one important one. That red is in curly braces. And if that's the case, we can open up the DSE. And enter red. Alright, we have a time limit. So what are we doing? Well, we're starting from 72. Gotta go down here to get a shotgun. The way these levels have been going since we entered Severed is that we want to find... Let's see, where are we going? We want to find a path, probably on frozen water. No, we already pressed that. Here's some frozen water. That'll let us go somewhere we weren't able to go, so we can achieve cerebral entanglement. Let's see. Whoop. Maybe through here. I think I remember where it is exactly. Yeah, we want to go to where the terminal was, here. And I believe the lake is now frozen. Oops. Yeah, this lake. Guess it doesn't say anything. So, this will let us go somewhere we weren't able to go before. I'm coming for you, father. Yeah, because now, we're the brother who wants to pay father a visit. And so, the way this went with previous levels is that we need to find the terminal so we can access the core memory. I think the altar's right down there. We have to find a way to get to it. What? Whoa, what? What was that? It, like, levitated. What happened was your fault. Oh yeah, actually it's right here. No, is it here? No, this is the beginning. So up there is the statue of Liana. You will pay. The teleporters were down here, but yeah, those are not active now. Let's see, can you still fall down the pit here? Pit? Big sister, I'm sorry he did this to you. I will help set you free. I promise. Yeah, Pit's still here. Down we go. Ow, 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 ow. Well, this is a good sign. Probably means we're on the right way. I think that's the big one on top of the tower. Can't shoot that. Hey, here's the altar. Father, after all these years, after everything you've put us through, it's finally time for you to face what you did. Once and for all. Alright, there's the construct. Alright, so now we're going to be entering, we're out of 64 and going to be entering core memory 64. But what is the core memory? So for the mother, the core memory was remembering what she did to Liana over and over and over again. And the brother, the core memory was remembering about how the parents just would not accept Liana's death and move on, leaving the brother isolated. But what is Dad's core memory? So we have a shotgun. Let's see, is there anything? Actually, this is dark here. Can I see anything? No, I don't see anything there. All right. Oops. Can I... Actually, no, that's cracked. No? Even though it's cracked, I can't shoot it. Alright, well, it's given us a shotgun early, and there are no enemies here, which means... If we have a shotgun here, the reason we would have it is to shoot open a door. Is it just this tape? Okay, yeah, that's it. It's just the tape. I don't think we can shoot that. There is something on the other side. But I think, yeah, there's a door right here. The door seems fragile. There we go. We used our key to open it. I don't recognize this place. This was where we hid from them. That is, of course, until they found me. And you know what our dear father did once they got to me? That's right. He did what he's always done. He ran. It did say in the newspaper article that Enigma found the android, but Dr. Redwood was nowhere to be found. He ran from me. From them. From you. Just like he ran from her. Well, we're at the last door, and we come to a number, 726564, which are the three entity numbers that we've been seeing. And these rooms do have numbers. You're 72. My darling boy. The boy who was my brother. This is me? I was never there for him. Oh, gone now. And yeah, this does look like Brother's room. Except, you know, except all the blood. I don't think the blood was normally there. Well, here's 6'5" and 6'4". My beloved. The woman who was my mother. Mother. And one more. Got a fun slide going here. Dad always knew how to have fun. Core memory path. I don't want you to see this. I never wanted anybody to see what I did. But I know it's the only way for us to save ourselves. There's one thing that I want you to know before you see this, and that is, I never wanted any of this to happen. Angel, if you ever read these logs, just promise me that whatever happens, you'll stay strong. Not for us, not for them, but for yourself. Because, after this, there is no going back. Alright, well, we find words floating in the air. Dad's logs. -7. I don't see any others, so let's start with this one. Memory leak number -7. So, in Mothered, we did read a bunch of the memory leaks, but these are some other ones, I guess, that happened before the ones we read in Mothered. At the heart of any sentient mind, there is something. Something that could only be described as a core. The one thing that makes us who we uniquely are. Without it, our brains would be no different to any other machine. Simply taking inputs and providing outputs. Controlled by whoever can understand the language of its workings. This core is the key to everything. The key to my life's work. Key to truly empathetic androids. Guardian angels, created to live alongside us. Learning to understand this core will be the pursuit that shall define me. To this, everything else is secondary. If only his dream could have been achieved, then all of us would have the opportunity to buy a child android to abuse it and make it eat spaghetti, even though it doesn't eat anything. Because we hate ourselves because our wife left us. I mean, that's the dream. That's the dream. If only. Yeah, so this is memory leak -6, something from nothing. Did I hit it? There we go. The core is the only thing that allows a mind to create. As such, every creation contains within it a small piece of a copy of the core that created it. Then, could it be possible to copy an entire core? To record a core's activity from within the boundless creation of a dreaming mind. If this is the case, then the difficult part would be no longer the how, but the who. To choose a singular mind one we somehow deem as correct. A mind unjaded by the poisons of reality so as to guide humanity onto the correct path. Alright, why not just make a digital copy of the human brain? Done! Good, if I'm to be honest. I can think of no core purer, no mind more hopeful than that of our little girl. I want my daughter to be Cyber God. Is that so wrong? Look, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I want to turn my daughter into the digital god. Only she could do it. Evelyn has started having second thoughts about letting Liana wear the halo on her in her sleep. Did we see the word halo before? I'm not sure if that came up. Let me write it down. Yeah, Evelyn's having second thoughts about maybe we shouldn't be trying to create the digital god, and maybe like it shouldn't be our daughter. I don't know. She's talking crazy. I'll just have to spend more time convincing her. It's obviously the right thing to do. No matter how much she is assured of its safety, she's adamant that Liana is too young for this. Well, I cannot assure her enough that I would never do anything to hurt our daughter. I also cannot blame her. It's just her nature, after all. As she went to cool off, I sat on the bed, ready to reassess my options. And who sneaks up behind me, giving me the fright of my life? But Liana. She was hiding inside the wardrobe. The little devil. I asked her what she heard. Actually, yeah, you can hide inside the wardrobe in Mothered. There's like, I think that's how, if I remember right, that's how you can learn about how you can get the real ending, the true ending. You have to hide inside the wardrobe to hear some information. That was the thing I never actually worked out. I had to look up how you get that ending by going to the record player, but I think that's how you were actually supposed to work it out in the game. I asked her what she heard, and all she said was, "We gotta do it, Dad! We gotta do it!" What did I do to deserve a child with such a big heart? I don't know what Evelyn has been saying to her, but she told me that thinks my work is the thing that makes me happy, and that she wants to help. She begged me to let her wear the halo to help with my research. Help. Make me happy. In that moment, I could have cried, but the little menace said she will only do it on one condition. In return for her help, I would help her get out of apple-picking duty in the orchard the next day. I always knew she hated it. She begged me not to tell her mother that, though. So my lips are sealed. Everyone hates picking the apples. I swear. Only my angel could have me crying and then laughing a mere moment apart. She held out her hand, inviting me to validate her promise. A pinky promise, I believe she called it. I'm always learning with this kid. I just hope that when she's older, she knows how important her role was in helping to create a brighter future. No, she'll know. And hey, maybe she'll even be proud of her old man. Well, that part didn't happen. That part's not likely. All right. All right. Memory leak -4, back down to reality. Evelyn told me something before I went off to work this morning. Something that turned my world upside down. She's pregnant again. A fact that makes me feel everything. I always felt as though my reason for being was to offer the world my research. Never could I imagine a reality where I'm a worthy father to anyone. Surely the best thing I can offer these children is a better world to exist in? What good would I be as a father if I didn't do everything in my ability to give them the life they deserve. I always thought that Evelyn was far more capable of love than I was. Yet, once again, I must learn. We only make our own reality. To a point. And this is the reality that Evelyn wants. Okay, and we're right here at -3. Progress. She doesn't get it. I fear she will never get it. Despite all the progress we've made since beginning this project, Evelyn has suggested that I take a step away from it. But that would ruin everything. Soon she'll understand. Soon she will see that if I could just make a little more progress, if I could just make it to the end, that things will all make sense. Only then will all of our suffering finally be worth something. But we won't get anywhere at the rate we're going. I need more data. Not just when she's sleeping, but when she's awake too. She's been a little angel, but I need to push her a little more. We can't stop now. I'm so close. Would be best if Evelyn never finds out. Perhaps she doesn't have to. We know the combat data is invaluable. Perhaps we really can make our own reality. I mean, obviously, everyone wants that combat data. Gotta get it any way you can. Memory leak -2, terminal. I thought it was nothing. Some light tiredness. A bit of nausea. Normal side effects from wearing the halo. But she hasn't been getting better. The doctor said they'd never seen a condition like it. Their exact words. It is as though her brain was dying. My little girl. I realized creation doesn't make a copy of a human's core. Rather, it takes a piece of the original. Fascinating. I can tell that it upsets Evelyn to see me withdraw into my own head like that. But focusing on this discovery was the only thing that helped after she left the room in an attempt to hide her tears. The doctor asked me, was there anything unusual that had happened to Liana? I have no choice now, but what kind of father would I be if I gave up hope now? Her condition is terminal. I have been given no choice. I must continue trying to capture her core. This is the only way we can save her. The only way I can make this right. This is no time for grief. No, everything's gone green. So, well, there it is. That's the little bit of information that we were missing. As in Mothered, we knew that Liana died from some condition. And now we find out that the condition was wearing the halo for Dad. Turns out that kills you. You killed her. You lost everything. You lost your direction. You lost your family. You lost your mind. She never got to grow. She was so scared. You killed her. And nobody was there for her. You never even went to the funeral. You failed her. You betrayed her. You killed her. I mean, all these things are fairly true, yes. Alright, well... That's Dad's room. I will fix what happened. Dad's still trying to fix it. It doesn't really seem like it's been... The fixing has been working. He's still trying. I can still fix it. The core's still good. It's still good. We can still fix this. Just need a little more time. Memory leak -2. Only one path forward. And used her memory path to pinpoint the location of our home. They took Evelyn. They took my boy. They will not rest until everything we once shared is nothing but an echo of an echo, lost to the fog. But if I am ever to free her from them, there's something from that old world that I need to save. My most prized possession. As long as I hold on to that backup, I have everything I need to help her. I will make this right, even if it kills me. Well, let's head on inside. Now we gotta get the prized possession, which of course we know. Well, we thought it was the record player, but maybe it's actually the record, which is actually her core backup. Wait, no. This is my core? This is how it all started? I'll get this core back to you, if it's the last thing I do. A door opens behind me? Well, we're not allowed to go into the downstairs bathroom. We might flood it. Ever since my creation. You've always told me that everything you've done was for us. Playing the story of a man only trying to help his family. But in here, you see the truth. And it wasn't until she got sick, and when it was already too late, that you ever tried to help anybody else. An obsession with emotion, with recreating emotion. Pulled pulled you away from the only real ones you ever had, and now, here you find yourself. Inside the belly of the very beast you created. In hope of what? Forgiveness? You never even told Mother, did you? She still doesn't know what you did. The true story about how her little girl got sick. Her short life brought to an end by the hands of her own father. Severed from her world by the same man. Oh, Father, what have you done? Oh, there he is. I thought I was trying to make a better world for them. But the only thing I ever had to do was be there for them. Girth Daddy. It's time for you to end this. Girth Daddy? Who's Girth Daddy? What are you talking about, sister? Alright, Girth Daddy gonna do the thing Girth Daddy do. You're still allowing yourself to be defined by her. But what else am I meant to do? This world tortured me. And it will continue to. Until you face the part of yourself that is still trapped in what happened. Until I face her and create a new story. One that comes from myself. Alright. Core memory. The third core memory completed. And we reach credits, because we reached the end of Severed. You can still kind of play the game behind Severed here. Alright, well, it's good to know that Girth Daddy still has a purpose. He sees still something he can do, and that's shoot a shotgun. He can do that real well. Install virus into Hyper-Reality Engine. That sounds fine. I placed her core back into this long dormant vessel, in the hopes that one day it will recontaminate her mind once more. From here on out, wait, it's up to you, the virus, to challenge your construct, my own core, and use it to reclaim yourself. My contamination. Only then can you be free, my angel. Father. Eh? Yes, Miss Red? I never even knew your name. I never even knew Dad's name? text is getting real big. Okay, well, it says at the bottom, recontamination will now commence. Core has been reinserted into her vessel. The great merge is upon us. We're gonna pull you out of there. Recontamination ready. Press enter to enter Dreamscape. And for the third time, we find ourselves in the tutorial. No timer this time, though. So where do we go? Hello? Is this my dreamscape? Is all of this my dreamscape? This is blocked off, I think. Well, I mean, you could go to left or right, but those just go to switches. We could try going to the shotgun gazebo. See what's happening there. Oh, the shotgun gazebo has collapsed. If this is my dreamscape, then maybe I could use it to connect with someone. Someone who understands how it feels. Someone to help me leave these old stories behind. Perhaps then I wouldn't need Girth Daddy anymore. Well, you know, it's good to have a purpose, and if Liana doesn't need old Girth Daddy anymore, well, that's sad, but, you know, good for her. Good for her. If you love something, let it go. Liana can't rely on old Girth Daddy forever. Can I really do it? Can I really move on from what happened? Yeah, we weren't able to go through that gate in the previous times we were in the tutorial. This one right here. I've been trapped in this place for years, the subject of stories created for me. But perhaps it doesn't have to be this way. If there really is someone out there who could help me, perhaps then we could all let her go. Perhaps then I could create a new story. A story that is truly for myself. Right, and she finally has the resolve to go through this gate. Alright, and now we enter part 3 of the game, Trilateral, the Enigma Machine. Well, this would be our construct, so does that mean this is her? Herself? I must push forward. Let's call someone on the payphone. Perhaps you are worthy of help. You pick up the phone and reach out to the one person who might understand. Well, we're back in the lobby, but the lobby does look a bit different. I hear a phone ringing. It's this one. Entity 72, which would be brother, the one person who might understand. Press enter to connect. Girth Daddy connected to her. This is it. I can almost feel their presence. As though you're all trying to free me from this headquarters? This prison of my own making. I have not seen it until now. I felt so alone in this place, unable to share it with anybody. But you were all connected to me this whole time? I was so afraid to reach out, so terrified of failure. But now, things feel different. As though finally, I'm in control of my own thoughts. Alright, well, Severed has ended, and we've entered part 3 of the game, TRILATERAL. We've pulled, it seems like we've pulled the 3 family members out of Echostasis, and Liana herself has regained her sense of self. Though, according to Dad, this isn't actually over for her until she confronts her own construct, until she confronts her. And, I mean, assuming that was what we saw, the winged being at the top of that tower. So, as we continue on with Echostasis... Actually, did we ever look up the word Halo? Oh, hello, Echostasis. Did we ever look up the word Halo? I don't know if we looked this one up. A device used to measure and capture the boundless creation that occurs in the subconscious mind. It was once speculated that enough of this subconscious data is gathered by the Halo that a copy of one's core could be created. Of course, this was before we learned the truth about human creation. Turns out the act of creation does not make a copy of the core's data, rather it takes a piece of the original. This is when it was learned that the core, every piece of who you are, every last bit of yourself into something else, is to leave no more room for you. And continuing to create without first allowing the core to heal, well, it only ends one way. Alright. So, next time, as we continue on with Echostasis, looks like we're trying to call Brother, so we have to find a way to reach Brother's phone. As Liana tries to reach the final part of her self-actualization, as we continue on with Echostasis.